Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, your favorite Eagles channel. So for today's video, we're recording the taxi and takeoff checklist slash video. And today we are flying the F-15 Eagle, but in different paint. We got the Lake and Heat paint on that F-15. And we're carrying 8 GBU. It's a bit loud, so I'm going to jump back to the cockpit. We're carrying 8 GBU 38s, 500-pound GPS guided JDAMs. You can look at my armament screen. I go to air to ground, and here they are. They're already pre-programmed, programmed direct. So I'm not going to shoot them right over the target, but as long as I'm anywhere in the zone or in range of the target, I can just, you know, pickle all of them, pickle all 8 JDAMs. Right. Okay, so before we taxi, we just want to ensure a few things. So we want to make sure that our canopy is closed and locked. So we got the handle fully forward. We checked our flight controls, just to make sure I can show that again. And I'm going to bring up the spoiler or the air brake and make sure that it's completely down. I looked on my left side. So I'm looking at the elevators, ailerons, everything. Flaps green, the gear is green, anti-skid. Just want to verify that the anti-skid switch is in normal position. The cast switches are all, the pitch and roll yaw are all on right there. INS alignment is complete and it's on nav. And going to the avionics and setters, so we got the radar just on standby. Radar altimeter is on, and the HUD and MPDs are all set for my flight, right? Okay. The way I pre-programmed them, as you can see, I'm just pushing my castle switch forward, switching between the air-to-air, air-to-ground mode. So this is the air-to-ground mode. I got my smart weapons on the right MPD, and I got my teapot on the left MPD, which is currently stowed and on standby, so it's not armed. We turn on the radar after takeoff during the climb, or once we start doing our fence checks. And on the bottom, I got my twos, so my radar. Right? I also programmed the bottom MPD between my twos, TSD, and the HSI. Where there it is. Here's the HSI, right? So, well, let me just switch it back to the air-to-air mode. There we go. Fuel quantity is 25,000 pounds. Currently, I'm checking what's on my. This is the confrontal tanks. So, how much fuel is in the confrontal tanks? So that the confrontal tanks that side pretty much with the engine inlets. This is the external tank. So right now, the bag, the center bag that I'm carrying, here it is. It's in the center. You can see it. I have roughly about 39, I would say, 3,900, 3,800 pounds of fuel in my center bag, and then nothing in the external wings, right? Because I'm not carrying any bags on the wings. Tank 1 is so tank 1 is the let me remember what's tank 1. So tank 1 displays the fuel quantity located right behind the cockpits. There is a fuel tank right behind the cockpit, and then we got the internal wing. So the internal wing will just show the combined fuel in the internal fuel tanks located inside the wings. And then we got the feed, which is the main feed, or the feed tanks, which is usually the tank 2 and tank 3, which directly supply the fuel to the engines, and it shows how much fuel I got on my in my feeds. The BIT stands for built-in test. Pretty much just test the fuel gauge. Just want to make sure that it's working, right? So if I stop pressing or stop holding it, it goes back to normal. So let's switch to our external tank, because I want to know how much I have in my central bag. We're pretty much ready to go. So we got the taxi lights on. Trim set for takeoff. Flaps are down, and yeah, we're gonna make a call that we're taxiing Let's see where we're going to be taxiing, because I got my kneeboard here. I'm going to switch to the El Dafra. Do I have it stored somewhere? No, I do not. I do not have it stored, but I know that the active is runway... hold on. 13 left. All right, so that's what we're going to be taking. It's 13 left. This is a star. This is not a SID, but I'm just looking at 13 left. Just to remember, the runway we're taking. All right, so 13 left. Cool. Let's just take off our parking brake and let's just start taxiing. Let me make the call. Duffer ground, Tiger 1, single F-15, taxiing to runway 13 left, departing to the northeast. Alright, so brake check. Brake check. So just giving it a bit of throttle. And I was immediately pressing on the brakes just to check. Right, taxiing is pretty much straightforward. Pretty much don't go above 20 knots. The main taxi was on the left, so we gotta take a left here. It's very sunny here in Dubai. Very sunny. Okay, UFC is all set up for our mission. So as you can see, I have waypoint 5, which is a custom waypoint I selected. I put in the coordinates there, the minutes and seconds. All right, we're going to be taking a right here. Second. I was making the call on CTAF. There we go. We're taxiing. As soon as we're going to start approaching the runway we're departing, we're going to do pre-takeoff checklist. Very quick, very simple. It's a bit hazy, but I think it's typical for the Middle Eastern countries. I mean, the weather is very typical, right? Because there's a lot of sand, so you got all that dust on the horizon. But a bit too fast. There we go, 20 knots. Okay, so this is Delta 2 exit. Let's see. I'm sure that I have the LDAF on my kneeboard. Ha, there it is. All right. So we just passed Delta 2. We're going to pass Echo shortly, and we're going to take left on Foxtrot. We're just going to increase the size just so you guys can see where we're taxiing. You can get the SID stars and all the airport charts, I believe in Navigraph. That's what I used before in the flight sim and in real life too. But in real life, we usually get we usually get all the charts with us, the most updated IRAC. All right, so we were parked here at the AWC ramp, and now we're taxiing here. We're taxiing on Alpha, and I think here's Foxtrot. Let's see if we're coming up on Foxtrot. Right, oh no, we're passing Echo. That's fine. For the departure, yeah, we're gonna be, let me show you. Is this it? Yes, it is. Okay, so as you can see, so this is a SID. We're going to be departing Al Dhafra. I have on my UFC TACAN set to 96 X-ray right here. So if you look at Nabun, once we're 20-mile DME from vector heading, runway vector heading from that TACAN, from Al Dhafra TACAN, we're going to be taking a left 050. That's usually how the SID starts. In our case, we're just going to be flying directly to waypoint Queen. And you can see we have the Queen coordinates in the bottom, which I set it as waypoint 2. So as soon as we are airborne, about 20 miles out, tracking runway heading, we're just going to be, we're going to go to an unrestricted climb and turning left towards the Queen waypoint. Once we're passing Queen waypoint, we're going to direct ourselves to waypoint 5, which is where our mission is. Do some air-to-ground bombing. Right, so we're approaching the runway. We want to do, if we have like an immediate takeoff, we usually do, we'll just do the checklist right prior to the runway lining up. But there is no traffic coming in. There's no emergency. So I'll do it once we line up on the runway. So I'm just gonna call it in. Dhafra traffic, Tiger 1-1, single F-15 lining up, runway 13 left for takeoff. Right. Once we enter the runway, we just want to switch our lights to landing lights and radar to on. You can keep the radar on standby if you don't want to be noticeable. You want to kind of stay stealthy or under the radar in cases of emergency or any other certain circumstances. Let me just line up myself. Okay, we are lined up. Gonna hold the brakes here. I'm gonna pull up the power to 80%. There we go. I'm gonna confirm the seat is armed, canopy is locked, flaps are green. Let me turn on the AMAD.
AMAD fire.
AMAD fire.
AMAD
No
fire.
cautions.
Warning.
No
Engine
warnings.
Fire.
Test lights.
Left. Warning.
Everything's illuminated.
Engine fire. Left.
All the bulbs are
Warning.
working.
Engine fire.
Trim is set for
right.
takeoff.
Warning. Engine
Gas
right.
switches are all
AB
on.
burn through.
Speed
left.
brake
AB
is
burn
retracted.
Through. Left. AB burn through. Right.
And INS is on
AB
nav.
burn
That's
through.
it.
Right.
We can turn on the pitot heat on, but this time we're just gonna keep it off because it's hot outside. But usually you would turn that on if it's not too hot outside, right? So we're at 80%. I'm pulling the stick just halfway, and let's get those afterburners. There we go. Stick is pulled halfway. The aircraft will start pitching, start rolling by itself. You don't really have to do anything. This is going to be a standard takeoff. There you go. It starts pitching up. You can let go a little bit. Positive rate of climb, gear up. There we go. And we can bring the flaps up as well. And we can do a nice 25 degrees. So I'm going to now use our trim down a little bit. This aircraft likes to pitch up right away as soon as it starts getting speed. I'm going to keep about 25-degree nose up pitch for our climb. And shift B. Just go to base quickly just to see. All right, so we're 2 miles. Two miles from our base. Keeping the runway track. I'm going to let go of the afterburners to about 90% power. And I'm going to pitch the aircraft to about 12 degrees to have a steady climb. There we go. Something around there. Okay, we're 5 miles away from the airport. The airport is behind us. I'm not sure if we can see it. There it is. Just keeping that runway track. We can do standard departure, go in 20 miles, you know, or we can start directing ourselves to Queen right away. Most likely what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna put waypoint 2 right here, 2 Alpha. Some Bravo. There we go, 2 Alpha. Now it shows waypoint 2 is 136 miles. So now we can start taking a left turn to 032. I want to stay just above 300 knots. I'm going a bit slow here. I will do a standard 7-degree climb, pitch altitude. There we go.
I'm down for Viper 1-1, lining up 311.
Okay, so everything is steady. You can see that we are on a 30-degree bank, approximately. Actually, more than that. Are we? Yeah, more than that. What about 40-degree bank? Here's that circle on the HUD. That's our waypoint. We're just gonna stabilize our bank, and we're gonna keep about 5-degree to 6-degree pitch. Get off these. After we're trying not to go too fast. Anywhere between 330 to 350 knots. We're gonna climb to Angels 25 or 25,000. There we go. We're 131 miles. Because there is enemy activity around us, we can start doing the fence checks, fencing in. We want to make sure that Master is armed, and again, this was not part of the video, but I'll just do it as part of the video. So Master is armed, just making sure that we're in the correct setup. So air to air, we got our radar on. We're gonna turn off the lights.
I'm down for Viper 1-1, clear from 311.
Okay, so we know what weapons we got selected. Currently, I just have the AMRAAMs. The Weasel guy will turn on all the other systems. Can turn on the targeting pod, arm the laser, etc., etc. Check the chaff and flares. And lastly, we just call it in. So we'll just call in the flight, you know, whatever. Say I'm number 2 on the flight, so I'm going to say 2. And I'm going to say the number of how much fuel I have left. So 21.7. So 221.7. And we're pretty much set. So we're going hot. So we're going hot. So we can engage targets, etc. I don't know what happened to my standby attitude indicator. There we go. All right. So I'm gonna switch to my autopilot here quickly. 25,000. There we go. Auto select, and it's gonna start pitching down by itself, closer to 25. Airplane is pitching down by itself. I'm not touching anything. I'll do a separate video on the autopilot. It's actually very easy. Rule of thumb: if you wanna just keep the same heading and just hold the same altitude, you're going to be in air-to-air mode. If you want to select, if you want the airplane to start navigating towards a waypoint or anything else, there's different settings, but you have to be under the air-to-ground mode to select that. So I'm just going to show you. So here's air-to-ground. There we go. And steering mode nav. So I'm going to press that, and the airplane will automatically here, it's going to adjust itself towards that waypoint, and it's keeping that altitude as well, right? But we're going to do a separate video on that. Right, so that was about it. Thank you guys for watching. And it was supposed to be just taxi and takeoff, but we did a little bit extra here. And the next video that I'm gonna post is going to do the air-to-ground using GBU-38s. So we're gonna do some air-to-ground work and working the T-pod as well. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.